Welcome to Obi-Wan Studios, and for today's LEGO Star Wars review, we have the 75385 Ahsoka Tano's Duel on Peridea, based on Season 1 of Ahsoka. This set released August 1st for $55, and at that price point, it's definitely something we are going to be discussing later on in this review. The Duel on Peridea has 382 pieces and comes with 5 total minifigures. We have Ahsoka Tano, Ezra Bridger, Morgan Elsbeth, Grand Admiral Thrawn, and a Night Trooper. The box art for this set is just so epic looking. It's definitely one of my favorite box arts for sets released in 2024 so far. The characters battling it out on the front of it just looks awesome, especially with Thrawn's Star Destroyer, the Chimera, looming overhead. Fingers crossed that that is the set we get at some point, maybe for Ahsoka Season 2. The back of the box highlights some of the play features of the set and another angle of the characters battling on it. Alright, it's time to open up the Duel on Peridea. This is a set that I've been really excited to build and display ever since it was first rumored, and as always, if you want to support the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Inside the box, we have the instructions manual and a large sticker sheet, so large it's almost the same size as that instructions booklet, and then 3 numbered bags in total. Taking a look at our minifigures, we start off with Ahsoka. This is the Ahsoka the white version of her from the back half of the Ahsoka show, and she looks really good. Her Leku is nice and the printing on it is well done. We have 2 face prints for Ahsoka as well. One is the more standard smile and the other is her battle ready face. Ahsoka's body printing looks very sharp as well, and when you combine that with waist, leg, and feet printing, I think she overall looks really good. I absolutely love what they did here for the Ahsoka the White aesthetic. Ahsoka is the only minifig as well in the set to get arm printing, which is just a nice extra detail for her character. I really do appreciate that getting added in for her. As to be expected, here's a look at the simple back print she gets as well. Lastly, Ahsoka comes with her 2 white lightsabers, and I think they look pretty good also. I just wish we'd get some different hilts for her. Some custom molded hilts for Ahsoka would be so nice, but we're just kind of stuck with the standard lightsaber hilts. Overall, this is a really great Ahsoka the White minifig, and probably the one we'd expect to get in any future Ahsoka Season 2 sets as well. Moving on now to Ezra Bridger, and while he is a very exciting addition to get in the set, there is one big issue with him that I just can't unsee, and it's those eyes. They look so bad on Ezra. LEGO, please stop this new trend before you ruin more minifigs. On some characters like Ahsoka, going pupilless works and looks fine, but with Ezra, it just looks so bad, and it's a shame because otherwise I think he is an awesome minifig. Ezra's hairpiece I think looks really good and suits his character from what we see in the show nicely, and the 2 face prints also look pretty great besides those eyes. Of course, every time I look at him, that's really all I can see at this point. The body printing on Ezra I think is pretty fantastic. It's very accurate to what we see in the show, and I really do appreciate that. We even get his small satchel on his leg print. They did a really great job incorporating all of those details into his robes, and they just overall flow very well through the torso, waist, and leg printing. Ezra does get a nice looking back print also. For Ezra, we get his new blue lightsaber, which we see him build in the show, and overall, he just was so close to being what I'd consider a perfect Ahsoka version of Ezra Bridger. Fix those eyes, and we just have a really, really incredible looking one, but yeah, that's all I can see, so unfortunately, Ezra is a bit of a miss for me personally. Next is Morgan Elsbeth and her new Night Sister Magic upgraded form. We have a really nice looking hairpiece for her, and then 2 really, really great face prints. The design with her kind of all powered up Night Sister Magic on the face for the tattoos I think looks really awesome. They absolutely nailed the face printing for Morgan. Her body printing I think looks very good too. We don't get any waist or leg printing however for her, but we do have a nice looking back print, and I think for her kind of pants that she wears during the show, just standard black legs works just fine, so no complaints in that regard with not getting any waist or leg printing. Now, I'm really happy that we got the Darksaber blade piece created in time for this set. Because of that piece, we get a really killer looking green version of it for the Blade of Talzin. Imagine if we just got a standard lightsaber blade piece for the Blade of Talzin, how bad it would have looked. Oh man. So I'm just very happy that LEGO reused that piece in the set here, and it looks fantastic. That darker gunmetal lightsaber hilt as well looks very good too, although I'm not totally sold on the stud at the end of the hilt though. I get what it's trying to do, but it just looks clunky. If we look at a version of the Blade of Talzin from the show compared to what we get in LEGO form, you can see it's longer, and they're trying to just differentiate it between just being a standard lightsaber hilt, but I just don't really think it works here. Overall, Morgan Elsbeth is a pretty great minifig, just overall well done. Now we move on to what is easily the most anticipated minifig in this set, Grand Admiral Thrawn, and what was once a dream has become an awesome reality for those of us wanting another minifigure of him. Thrawn's black hairpiece I think looks really good. I definitely think that was the right move here for how he looks in live action. Same with the shade of blue for the skin tone. It just works really well here and looks very, very good. Thrawn also has two face prints, and both as well I think were done very well. When it comes to the body printing, overall, I think it looks very nice. This time, LEGO double-checked what the ranking of Grand Admiral was and gave us the correct ranking, which I'm very thankful for. However, we just traded getting one inaccuracy corrected for a new inaccuracy in getting the wrong number of code cylinders. I don't get it. LEGO just can't help but be lazy and not double check certain details, I guess, especially with the minifig that they had a really, really bad issue with an inaccuracy before, with the old ranking of Thrawn being just totally wrong, and now we have the wrong number of code cylinders, one on each side when there should be two, so I don't get it. LEGO just can't help but be lazy and not double check certain details, I guess, because they had it right on the original Thrawn minifig. And I will also be doing a whole video doing a comparison between the new and original Thrawn minifigures, so subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see that video when it comes out. With Thrawn, we don't get any leg printing, but we do get dual molded legs, which look so good. If LEGO didn't include that, this Thrawn would have been a total waste of a minifig in my opinion. So I'm very happy with that addition to him. And then he also has a nice looking back print. We do get a small blaster pistol for Thrawn as well to use, and overall, he was very close to being a perfect Grand Admiral Thrawn minifigure. Just disappointing that that one issue with the code cylinders couldn't have been just consistent and accurate both times around. Lastly, we have our Night Trooper, and the rumor around the set said we'd get a Captain Anok, but we just got a standard Night Trooper instead, disappointingly enough, and that's where I'm a little bit at with this Night Trooper overall, just a bit disappointed. I think the changes LEGO made to the Stormtrooper helmet to turn it into what we saw in the show was okay, nothing stellar. Like, the gold printing on the helmet is pretty minor overall, especially when looking at it from the left side. I just think they could have done a little more to it. Plus, I'm just not really a big fan of this helmet design in general. Underneath the helmet, we get a zombie face, which does look pretty good, but it's just buried under the helmet anyways. Like, once you put the helmet back on, you're kind of gonna forget that it's even there. The printing on the body looks good. A lot of nice gold spread throughout the armor. There is a little that makes its way onto the waist printing too, which is a nice touch. And of course, it goes all onto the legs as well. I do really wish we got arm printing with the Night Trooper. That would have gone such a long way here into adding more detail and pops of red and gold color to him. Even the addition of some of the gray pieces we see the troopers have in their armor in the show with some of that red cloth would have just looked very cool on the arms, and they just look a little bit too bare compared to the body on the Night Trooper. Taking a look at the back print from the Night Trooper, I do think this looks rather good. Of course, we get a blaster rifle for him to use. Overall, I think the Night Trooper is good, but again, LEGO just could have made him so much better and really, really cool. Taking the minifigs all together in this set, I think our selection is pretty good. Thrawn and Ahsoka are the highlights for me personally. Even though Thrawn has a really dumb inaccuracy, I do still like him a lot, but the set does fall a bit short for me with things like Azra's eyes. I just cannot unsee that. And then only getting one Night Trooper as well, I just feel like we should have gotten at least one more with a different print ideally as well, to have two different versions, or even better, one of the Death Night Troopers Ezra and Sabine fight. Now, getting one of those would have been so sweet. Moving on to our build, which is the top of the spire, which makes for the final scene of the battle on Peridea. And just looking at it, you can see that there isn't really a whole lot going on here, but for what the spot actually looks like in the show, I don't really know what much else LEGO could have done with the design. Maybe it could have been a little bit larger, but unless we got more minifigures, I don't think it really needed to be bigger. Now, normally in my reviews, I don't discuss the building experience unless something really stands out to me, and unfortunately with this set, it was very annoying to build because of the stickers. You really have to be careful when you're lining them up, because if you don't line them up pretty much perfectly, the set honestly won't look good at all, especially for the black towers, as they are the most visible stickers. Those have to be done so well to make the set look good for display. But the thing is that in total there are only 8 actual different sticker designs for the set. A bunch of them you use multiple times, like the straight line ones on the floor, you use a bunch of times and it's the exact same sticker. So how hard would it have been to have LEGO actually print some of those that you use multiple times, especially to make the display factor even better with this set? I just think that is a total miss in terms of LEGO providing us with the best quality product that they can and really should. So while the stickers I think do look great if you get them on there well, it just made for a really tedious building experience, and I wish I could say LEGO would probably do something like this in the future, but even considering we only just got printed UCS plaques not too long ago, I am doubtful they'd spend the extra money to give us a better product. With all of the stickers applied though, the end result is a pretty accurate looking version of the scene from the show. Like, this really does do justice what the final battle scene does look like on top of that Night Sister spire. Now, I did wonder what those gold bars actually were doing on the back of the pillars, and watching the show back you can actually see gold stripes running down the middle of the back of the pillars also. So while this is an odd way to try and get that across, I'd much rather have had plates on the back as well with additional stickers at this point. That is what those are trying to represent. Now, this build does feature some play functions to it as well, as it's not strictly a display set. We have these turntables, 3 in total, 1 large one in the center surrounded by the quarter circle stickers, and then 2 on the sides of it. You can place a minifig onto one of the ones on the outside and then spin them around thanks to these gears that stick out of the sides of the floor of the build. The middle turntable doesn't have an easy way to spin it around. Some sort of way to spin one on the outside and then to turn the middle one at the same time would have been cool, but unfortunately you kind of just have to do it the old-fashioned way by hand. I really do appreciate though how the gears that stick out of the build are not super obvious. That does help the set retain its display factor even though it has play function to it. The entire top section as well has pieces going in a lot of different directions to help make it look solid, even though you have these circular pieces for the characters to stand on and spin around on, so that is another plus for the set's overall look. One other dumb thing with this set is that the 2x2 plates underneath the turntables are blue, so you get a bright blue kind of hint of color sticking out of the middle of them. It just makes too much sense to have made these the same color as the rest of the build, I guess. Now, there is one final play feature with our build, and it's to replicate Ezra jumping onto Thrawn's Star Destroyer to get home. Now, 2 things here. 1, Sabine actually uses the Force to help push him onto Thrawn's Star Destroyer, so the play feature doesn't make sense kind of in the minifig context because Sabine is one half of the equation to making that happen, and she's also kind of missing from the scene in general, the final battle on Peridea. You have to buy her from the Ahsoka's T6 Jedi shuttle set, and LEGO just isn't going to provide duplicate named characters, so overall just a little bit disappointed that we are missing Sabine here, but you do get her in another set, so it's not a huge deal. But also, this play function, it just doesn't really work that well. I feel like a kid is going to reenact this 3-4 times tops by just kind of launching Ezra up and then just not use it anymore. So overall, I feel like it's just a bit pointless of an addition. When you do place the characters on the build to set the scene, this is really where this set shines. I think it looks so good and will look really nice on display in my shelves. So for that reason, I am very happy LEGO made this set. I really enjoyed Ahsoka, so getting a set that looks this good on display from the show makes me very happy. Now finally, the price. $55 for what you get? It's a bit crazy, let's be honest. We really needed more value in this set for the money. Printed pieces would have helped that. More Night Troopers, either with different prints or a black armored version, would have helped that. Even just giving us the same Sabine from the T6 Jedi Shuttle set would have been appreciated at the very least, so you don't have to buy that set to get her to really complete the characters from the scene. But sadly, as far as the price is concerned, we have another overpriced set from the August 1st, 2024 wave, and I do really hope LEGO hears the community's feedback on the prices they've been setting lately and just comes back down to earth a little bit. So with that said, I obviously do not recommend paying full price for the set unless you really want Grand Admiral Thrawn right now. Wait for a sale, save yourself some money. And overall, my feelings on the set are definitely a bit mixed. It has some of the most annoying stickers I've had to place on a LEGO set in a very long time, doesn't include enough minifigs, and I think is clearly a bit overpriced. But taking the price aside, it does look great for display, and that still has me looking at the set in a relatively positive light. I cannot stress it enough though, when it comes to Thrawn's code cylinders, LEGO, you have got to get these details right. There is no excuse for it. Thank you for watching my review on the 75385 Ahsoka Tano's Duel on Peridea. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like and give me a follow on Instagram, as I'd love to connect with you guys more on Instagram. And as always, leave your thoughts on the set in the comments down below. And lastly, don't forget to check out my YouTube channel for more LEGO Star Wars set reviews.